This is how I looked a year ago. This is how I look now. So if you're trying to get fine like your boy, Tarek, please don't ever do that in the video again. Make sure that you listen to what I'm about to tell you. Before we get started, if you've been growing out your hair for a while, you want your hair to look like this, I got a free curly hair routine that goes over what to do to your hair throughout the week from day 1 to day 7 of managing your curls. It's completely free. The link for that will be down below in the description. Go and get it. And while you're down there, hit the like button. So I originally started working out in September of 2019, but I did not get serious until last year. I think it's important that I talk about my previous experience when it came to working out, because it did build a foundation that I would later capitalize on when I actually started like tracking my macros, actually being consistent when it came to the gym. My goal was never to get big. It was never to get huge. My goal was always to get a lean aesthetic physique, minimal body fat percentage, accentuation in the shoulders, getting that V taper look, a good back, some visible abs. So that originally led me to calisthenics. So if you don't know what calisthenics is, it's basically body weight training, learning to master your body. So within the first year, I'd say year to year and a half, because that's really when COVID started, the gyms closed, so I only had the choice of body weight training. I was focusing on doing push-ups, like getting to the one-arm push-up. I started focusing on pull-ups. It took me like a good 4 months to get my first genuine pull-up. So basically from the beginning of 2020 to the end of 2022, I was focusing mainly on calisthenics. I didn't have a set diet. I wasn't tracking my macros. I wasn't being that consistent with the gym. And I also wasn't actually working to failure on my sets that would actually bring me some muscle growth. So needless to say, although I built some functional strength and my body looked decent, I didn't progress nearly as quickly as I could have if I actually locked in on the stuff that I'm about to teach you. The first thing I fixed when it came to my gym transformation was my gym routine. I used to walk in the gym with a vague idea of what I was going to do, and I only ended up doing like 3 different exercises and then I would leave. This time I actually locked in. I set 4 to 5 exercises for each day. I followed a push-pull legs rest split. So basically I did push day where I did primarily pushing movements, a pull day where I did primarily pulling movements, a leg day, and then I would rest, and then I would start again with the push day. But not only that, I started to track the weight and the amount of reps that I was able to do with each exercise. And this is because when it comes to building muscle, you need to incorporate progressive overload. Basically, this means you need to make the exercise harder over time. So that could be something like adding more weight, doing more reps, or doing a harder progression of the exercise that you're doing. This is the system that I use to progressively overload and get stronger. I work within the 8 to 10 rep range. I choose a weight that I can only do a max of 8 reps. If I fail on something like the 6th rep, like I just can't get it up on the 6th rep, then I drop the weight by 5 pounds and see if I can get to 8 reps. And when I say going to failure, I mean you physically, if someone put a gun to your head, you could not put that weight up. Now, when it comes to building muscle, you want to make sure that you're either going to failure or 2 reps short of failure. So you're able to do 8 reps in the exercise. What do you do now? You're going to continue to stay at that weight until you're able to do 3 sets of 10 reps. So let's say this is your first week. You're on your first set, you're able to do 8 reps pretty clean. You're struggling around rep 6, but you're able to get to 8. On the second set, you're probably struggling around 4 reps. You might need to take a little pause, a little break, and then work your way up to that 8th rep. And then on set 3, you're really tired at this point, but you're still able to crank it out to 8 reps. On the second week, you might be able to do 10 reps of the exercise on the first go around. And then on the second set, you might drop all the way back down to 8 reps. And then on the third set, you might be struggling on the 6th rep, but you'll be able to get it up on the 8th rep. But you want to be continuing this until you're able to do 3 sets of 10 reps. Once you're able to do that, you can up the weight by 5 pounds and basically start over again, starting at 8 reps, working your way up to 10 reps. And this is essentially how rep ranges work. You want to work from the lowest end of the rep range to the high end of the rep range. And once you're able to do the high end for 3 sets, you up the weight, and then you'll start again at the lower range. One last thing I'll cover when it comes to your actual gym routine is your intensity matters. That means you can't just go in there and just be pumping weights and just be like, ooh, I feel a good burn, and then you move on to the next set and that's good. You basically need to be struggling, like you need to be going through intense effort, because working out is the stimulus to muscle growth, right? Your muscles don't grow in the gym. They grow when you rest. So you need to give your body like enough incentive to actually grow your muscles. You need to put it through enough intensity to stimulate that growth. So now we're going to go into the nutrition side of the video. I wanted to cover the gym routine first because I want you to get consistent in the gym first. You could always fix your nutrition or your eating habits along the way, but I feel as though the hardest part is actually getting in the gym and being consistent with it to actually bring results. The first thing you need to do when it comes to your nutrition is you need to calculate your maintenance calories. This is the amount of calories your body needs to stay at your current body weight. To do this, search up maintenance calorie calculator, put in your information like your height and your weight, and it's going to give you an estimate of the amount of calories that you need per day to maintain your body weight. From here, you have 3 different options when it comes to your fitness goals. You could either go on a cut, you could either bulk, or you can try to do body recomp. Cutting is when you go in a calorie deficit to lose weight with a primary focus on fat loss. Bulking is when you go in a calorie surplus to gain weight with a primary focus on gaining muscle with minimal fat gain. So for a cut, you're gonna take that daily maintenance calorie number and subtract 500 from it. That's how much calories you should get every single day. Or you can calculate your weekly maintenance calories and subtract that number times 7. If you're going on a bulk, you want to add 500 calories to your daily maintenance, or once again, go the weekly route. If you stick to your routine and you're in a 500 calorie deficit, you will lose 1 pound every single week. If you're in a 500 calorie surplus, you'll gain 1 pound every single week. Now, one important thing when it comes to cutting and bulking is that you want to make sure that you're getting enough protein. So to do this, you want to make sure that you're getting 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight every single day. I decided to make it easier on myself with the calculations and just get 1 gram. So if you weigh 160 pounds, then you need 160 grams of protein. This will make sure when you're cutting that you're primarily losing fat and not muscle gain. And this will also make sure when you're bulking that you're primarily putting on muscle and not extra fat. But when you're bulking, you are going to put on some fat. And when you're cutting, you're probably gonna lose a little bit of muscle as well. This is where body recomposition comes in. Body recomposition is basically when you stay in a calorie deficit, but you're making sure that you get enough protein. But the emphasis isn't on losing weight, it's just losing fat while building muscle at the same time. So if you're not focusing on your weight, what should you be focusing on? You need to put a focus on how much you are progressing in the gym when it comes to progressive overload. Are you lifting heavier weights? Are you able to do more reps? Are you getting stronger? This is why tracking the weight you can lift and the amount of reps you can do is so important, because it lets you know if you're actually getting stronger in the gym. And getting stronger is a good sign that you're actually building muscle. I say it's a good sign because there's a difference between training for strength and training for hypertrophy. And hypertrophy is basically when you're breaking the muscle down so it can get stronger. If you want me to go into that, I can do that in a separate video. But for this one, let's just say getting stronger is a good sign that you're putting on muscle. Now, personally, I'm somewhere between body recomposition and bulking because I'm staying around my maintenance calories, but I'm going with enough intensity and getting enough protein to actually put on muscle. So now I'll get a little bit into my diet. Now, I use this app called MyFitnessPal to track my meals and the amount of calories I get on a daily basis. It tells you the macros, like the protein that's in it and whatnot. So basically all you have to do is weigh out your food, log it into the actual app, and it'll keep track of your calories, your protein, your carbs, and your fats. If you want a more in-depth video on how I track my food, make sure to let me know down below in the comments. My diet literally consists of this: 4 meals of some variation of chicken and rice. And in terms of portion size, I weigh out 200 grams of rice and 150 grams of chicken breast. This gets me close to 170 grams of protein every single day, and my current body weight is about 152. And I know what you're thinking, that's a lot of protein, especially for my current body weight. But this is an estimate. I don't always hit those 4 meals. You know, sometimes you might just have something else to do, or you skip a meal and whatnot. By aiming higher, by setting the bar higher, I make sure that if I dip below that, I'm still going to hit the amount of protein I need to get every single day. Not only that, somewhere between 160 and 170 pounds is my goal body weight. I'm not focused on the actual weight of myself. I'm just focused on building muscle, but I know I want to lie somewhere in between that range before I actually start cutting. The next thing you need to focus on is getting enough rest. I know when you start to get into the gym, when you start to see a bunch of progress, you're going to be very excited, and it's going to get to the point where you literally don't want to stay home. You just want to go to the gym because that's where you feel alive. But you need to understand that being in the gym and working out is only the stimulus for muscle growth. Muscle is actually built when you rest your body, when you go to sleep, when your muscles are recuperating. So that means when it's time for your rest day, actually do your rest day. In fact, sometimes I find that I need more than one rest day in between, because I'm typically in the gym anywhere between 4 to 6 days a week. You know, if you're following a push-pull leg split and then you're only leaving one rest day in between, I realize that the following workout, I'm not able to put up as much weight because I'm still tired, I'm still fatigued, my muscles are still recuperating, so I'm not able to lift as heavy. So sometimes you just need to listen to your body, and if you have to take another rest day, no big deal. Just know that when you're resting, that's when your muscles are actually getting stronger. It's also a really good idea to get consistent sleep. You should at least be getting 7 hours of sleep. I know how this generation is. I know how it is when you got a job or you got school and you're hanging out with friends and everybody's a night owl. So that's why I say at least 7 hours of sleep every single day. You want this right? Go to bed. And if you want to improve your body, you might want to improve your hair as well. So I want you to watch this video next, where I go over the products you need to get first, especially if you're broke. That's all for me, and I'll see you guys in the next video.